Live to fight another day. Fish right here. Later, dude.
Good evening, good evening, good evening, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Kayak Bass Live on a Tuesday evening. I'm excited to be here. David cannot be here with us today. He actually has to work this evening, so that way he can fish the Kayak Bass tournament this weekend. So you are stuck with me. Too bad, so sad. Want to start with our traditional introductions to everybody. Tonight we have Richard Penny, who actually will have him come on first here in a little bit after I do my news and everything, and then after we're done talking with Richard, we will bring on the Kayak Bass Nomad, Mr. Greg Blanchard, and it's going to be a good show. I'm very excited for it. As always, please share so that way we can get the word out, and so people can see that we are live and they can hear what Richard has to say about the upcoming event, as well as Greg Blanchard and his many excursions across the nation. Actually, you know what? I forgot to set up my iPad here so I can read you guys' questions. I imagine there may already be a few. So bear with me. I apologize. I'm going to see if I can do double duty here and read some of this. I do want to give a thank you to everybody. We are super close to breaking 600 likes on Facebook, which is awesome because last week we were just barely over. I think we were just a little bit over 500. So to know that we gained somewhere between I think close to 80, 70 and 80 likes in the past week. That's fantastic. So that means we're doing something right, and you guys enjoy us, and you like what we're doing. I definitely appreciate that. Like I had said previously, we plan on doing some sort of giveaway, and when we hit 1,000, I'm not sure yet quite what we're going to do, but I imagine it's going to be something pretty spectacular. So keep your eyes peeled for that when and if that happens. I also want to do give everybody a reminder that we do upload and archive the show on YouTube. So whatever reason you can't find it on Facebook after the fact, which should be easy because it's at the top and most recent one, or you want to go back and watch some of our older episodes with anybody. We've had Nick Smith, the Informative Fisherman. We've had Robert Field. We had Kurt Smith a few 2-3 weeks ago. The 2017 KBF national champion. If you want to go back and hear all that, it's there. Go to YouTube, check us out, Kayak Bass Live. It's pretty easy to find, and watch them. Give them a thumbs up while you're there. Like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff that goes along with social media. I'm super clumsy. I apologize. It's hard to multitask. I'm a guy, so bear with me. All right, there we go. I got it. Cool. So we got some got people already tuning in. This is great. I love it. So with that, give an update on the Yakabass online photo contest. The deadline's already passed, but it's running till the 30th. There were 15 teams that did sign up, a total of 30 anglers. It was a 6-fish limit, or is a 6-fish limit, 3 fish per angler. And the current leaders, Team Donkey Slayers. Again, Jason Cullen. Where'd this dude come from? Stop fishing Clear Lake, bro. Go fish for spots. Come on, give everybody else a chance, man. So Jason Cullen and his partner Noah Stevens, 122 3/4 inches. They are leading it right now. And the current big fish, which still goes to Lonnie Owen Jr. Jason and Noah, they did upgrade a little bit. I think they had like 116 last week, so they've upgraded. That's 6 inches, give or take. Yeah. Sorry, math on the fly, not my specialty. So current big fish, Lonnie Owens Jr., 24 1/4 inches, approximately about a 9-pounder, which is fantastic. Congratulations to you, Mr. Lonnie Owen Jr. I want to give a shout out to my buddy Adam. Adam B. I don't know how to say his last name. I should have asked him when I was here. But he started this company called Blue Collar Anglers, and I purchased a shirt with him with the intention of wearing it this evening, and for whatever reason, I can't find it. I don't know what happened to it. I brought it in from my truck. I put it on the kitchen table, and somewhere between the kitchen table on Saturday and today, I can't find it. I don't know what happened to it. So he drove over here like 25 minutes to come over here to give me this shirt. I don't know if you can see it. Blue Collar Anglers. It's pretty cool. Sick little logo. His fish looks like a blue collar kind of worker, wearing like a work shirt. And he's got a lot of plans to make some really cool stuff. And I want to support him and everything he's doing. So go over to bluecollaranglers.com and buy yourself a shirt. I believe they're $20. And support Adam and what he's trying to do. And he's also on Instagram, and he does a lot on there, and he's growing. He's got a lot of potential, and he's very creative, and he's got an artist that's pretty cool too. He's another one of our friends, Brittany, and she drew that for him. And but go out and support them. So shout out to Adam, and thank you for driving over here to bring me this shirt so I can wear it. Granted, you can't really see it where I'm standing a whole lot, so maybe I'll have to stand back for the rest of the show, but we'll make it happen. Reminder, the Yakabass April tournament is not full. I guess a couple guys backed out. Last night we only had one spot. We had one spot open. I think between last night when I wrote my outline and today now, we have lost another 1 or 2 people. So if you're wanting to fish it, get on there, sign up. It's $42 to enter. It's an open launch. Check-in and identifier pickup will be between 5:30 and 6:45. The blast off or move to the launch spot is at 7 a.m. So you can leave at 7 a.m. or you can start fishing there at 7 a.m. And then the check-in identifier turn-in is at 3 p.m. and your fish submission must be by 3:30 p.m. I meant to have a lot more, but due to work and the holiday weekend, I don't know, stuff happens. But I apologize. I want to talk. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to read what James, I believe James is the one that sent this. He's from the only one that's the tournament director. So he sent an email. It says, "Hey guys, for the first off, a couple of emails to come to you through the week. Check-in is going to be interesting. Please arrive at the gates early. It can take time to inspect your kayak and get through the line. if you're not been Comanche, they do the quagga muscle inspection. So, anyways, cut off to sign in and get your identifier at 6:45. No changes will be made. At 7 a.m., you may start fishing from the South Shore ramp or drive to your launch site. You must be back to turn your identifier at 3 p.m. no later, or your fish will be DQ'd. You can check in. James, you have somebody read your edit your emails, buddy. You can check in your fish. Man, it's really rough. Because I'm trying to read without glasses. Okay. You can check in. My sure your fish are uploaded. Oh, make sure. He must be typing on his phone. Make sure your fish are uploaded. Go load up your kayak and gear while we finish judging photos. We will be firm on these times. There will be no changes for anyone. Also, we turn Tourney X off at 3:30 for photo submissions. We do not have a computer, nor do we have any way to upload fish, so cell phones only. Make sure you have a signal and can upload your fish, or someplace where you can upload your fish by 3:30 p.m. We want this to go as smooth as possible, so be prepared. I will be sending out our list of rules this week, so you can brush up on them before Saturday. Also, it's looking like it will be in the 80s, so bring water and be on the lookout for pleasure boaters and jet skis. Thanks, the Tourney X team. All right, I apologize. It took a little long. So I also want to remind everybody, this weekend, Saturday, Headwaters Kayak Paddle Fest at Lodi Lake, April 22nd, which is Saturday, same day as the Yakka Bass tournament. So if you're not fishing the Yakka Bass event, go to Headwaters and go support Paddle Fest. It's a great opportunity to get your rear in a seat and paddle and demo for $10. They'll give you a paddle, a vest, and we can bring anything but yourself and your wallet. And what you do is they have them all lined up on the beach. You get in one, you paddle it out to Lodi Lake for 10 minutes. I believe the river is actually flowing too heavily, so they're not letting anybody go out there. So just paddle in Lodi Lake for 10 minutes, come back, get in another kayak, try it for 10 minutes, come back. So that way you get to demo them, and you get to demo any kayak he has on the beach for all day. And then the idea is that Sunday they're going to do a parking lot sale. So what you do is you demo on Saturday and then buy on Sunday. And he's going to have I believe he's going to have quite a few used boats as well. So if that interests you, get out there and give it a whirl. Upcoming events we have across the nation. For those of you tuning in across the nation, this week we have the KBF Trail at Lacassine National Wildlife Refuge. I hope I said that right. Richard, can you nod your head? Yes. No, did I say that right? Yeah, whatever. He says go ahead. April 22nd, and this week KBF Trail at Mud Creek, April 22nd as well. All right, next week KBF Trail on Cayuga Lake, KBF Trail on Kent Lake, MSK. Next week's huge. There's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Nine events looks like I have across the nation. Granted, there's probably a lot of smaller ones, but these are some of the bigger ones. So Kent Lake, MSKA KBF Trail on Stonewall Jackson Lake, Bluegrass Yak Masters at Dale Hollow Lake, the Cats Kayak Angler Tournament Series on Decker Lake, Kayak Bass Series Open #3 at Lake Dardanelle. There's a river bassing qualifier being put on by kayak anglers up in the New England area in Goldsboro. River Bassin Regional Rock Hill, South Carolina, and Kayak Anglers Central New York Duck Lake. A lot of events. So if you want to fish, there's somewhere to fish next weekend. And if you can't get there, get on and participate, man. There's events going everywhere. And when I made my schedule across the calendar across the across the year, there's an event almost every weekend from here, like all the way through November. So if you want to fish, there's opportunities. Get out there and do it. Join in the fun. Hopefully you're fishing a KBF trail or KBF qualifier, so that way you can potentially get a chance to fish a national championship in 2018 for $100,000 or not? Yeah, $100,000, $100,000. Come on, get out there, fish. So with that, we only have some results from across the nation from this past weekend. The KBF Trail at Beaver Lake on April 15th. There were 73 anglers. A total of 340 fish were caught, according to Tourney X. Granted, there probably were more, but those are the ones that submitted. And third place went to Nathan Henthorn with 87 inches, and he had the big fish for the event at 22 1/4. Second place went to Craig Wood, 89 1/4, big fish, 20 1/4. And then Dwayne Beatty, 89 1/2, with the big fish of 21.5. So there's some solid fishes they've got out there at Beaver Lake. I believe Beaver's the one. Beaver's got a lot of spots in it, doesn't it? It's a big spot fishery. Is the one I'm thinking of. I don't know. Anyways, there's also the KBF Trail Three Rivers Throwdown. That was this past weekend. I'm hoping possibly we can have the winner from that because that was a really big event, and Chad was out there, and I believe some other big shots were out there. So the Three River Showdown on the 15th, or 91 anglers total, 361 fish were submitted. Third place went to Alan Ragsdale, 91.5 inches, a big fish of 19 3/4. Nice. Second place, Mitchell Smallwood, 97 3/4, big fish of 22 1/4, which was the big fish for the event. And yeah, nice. That's a stud fish. And then Brad Case, 98 1/4 inches with a big fish of 21 1/4, took the home W. Congratulations, Brad Case. If you're available and you're watching, we'll try to maybe get you on next week, along with the Yakabass Comanche winner as well. So a reminder, everybody that's watching, as always, we try to give away Trapper hooks. They've been a supporter of the stream. So what you do in order to win some Trapper hooks, you like, share, and participate. Comment, ask questions. That's how you win. So those who share is how I pull the names. I pull the names and then I make a wheel, or myself or David make a wheel, and then the next week we will spin the wheel, and the guys who shared it this week, between now and the next stream, have the opportunity to win. So share the stream, spread the word, spread the love. Let everybody know what we're doing here. With that, we can go ahead and go to Richard. Hey, Richard, you ready? You go and unmute yourself now. How's it going, Richard? How you be?
Doing well. How you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. You been fishing lately, man?
Yeah, a couple of events. We had a Heroes on the Water fundraiser tournament out of Mission Bay this last weekend. Raised over $12,000 for our local chapter, which is great. Shout out to Jake. He's staying at his mom's tonight, but that 14-year-old clown actually won the tournament
Nice.
for all the KBF guys that were fishing it. Wire to wire, he put 3 fish in the boat quick, and after that it was just all small stuff for him, but he held everybody off. So good job to him. He's actually probably in the top 6 for our Angler of the Year race down here in SoCal. So doing pretty good. But other than that, I get time on the water. I fished the day before, and no complaints. Get out there when you can.
Yeah, absolutely, man. That's the only way. It's the only way to get any better.
After being a Kentucky lake, and having to judge all those damn fish, I don't want to see another fish, in all honesty, outside of one of my hands.
Yeah, dude. You guys, what they said was like 1,600 fish or something like that. That's what it was.
Over 7,000 fish.
Yeah. Oh, man, my calculation, I was way off.
Yeah, it was.
Wow.
It was a zoo.
That's nuts.
And we got through it.
Wow.
Yeah, Kurt. Going back to the NC, Kurt wanted to leave at 2 o'clock in the morning, and we weren't. Quite frankly, we just weren't done validating all the fish. And I didn't. I really didn't know who Kurt was. And then Chad was standing there and asked his name, and I kind of looked over at him like, "No, dude, you can't go anywhere," because we already knew. It was just a matter of validating, all the fish, and especially the top 30 anglers. So, it was one of those things. Just didn't want him to leave, and he was completely delirious. It was hilarious. But well worth the wait, I think, on his behalf and everybody else that placed. So, good.
Yeah, sweet, man. Yeah, I don't envy you having to be one of the judges. How many judges were there for the event? Do you remember?
We started off. We had 3 of us at the end. That we brought a couple more ringers in. So 5, and then we had a couple people. Chris Payne jumped in from Texas and judged some fish for us, and a few other people. So. We had certified from years before, so we got it done. But at the end of the day, it really came down to validating fish. Making sure that we even brought an angler in to look at them. So knowing that there was a question from the year before, we just weren't willing to have any questions come back at us this year.
Yeah.
So it took longer than we wanted, in all honesty. But at the end of the day, the product had to be good, and it's a great event. that thing is growing leaps and bounds. It's amazing how big this community is and how big it's getting. And so you think about it, with over 40,000 first place this year, with $100,000 on the table next year, it's going to be an epic event. So looking forward to it. Happy to be part of it as it grows. And then the bigger thing for me, honestly, is getting our community out here to that size that that I know we can do. I mean, those guys back east, they've got a great community. They run great events, and we're completely capable and have the bodies out here to do it. So it's just a matter of bringing some KBF out here and bringing some California to KBF at the same time.
Absolutely. So with that, man, granted, I know these questions, but we're going to let you go ahead and do it anyway. So when is this tournament?
This tournament's actually going to be on May the 13th. So right now, as it sits, we've got a pending captain's meeting on the 12th at Headwaters in Lodi. I've been asked from a couple of people to do a virtual captain's meeting. So we're gonna kind of run through that, the thought process of that. Michael Boyach reached out to me and brought that up. I think it's a great idea, especially with the fact that we've got an open launch across the Delta. James has already posted that map up for everybody, and it's a lot of water, right? So if we can minimize guys on the road the night before, I think it's a fantastic plan. The only issue is going to be, from my perspective, is how many people have legitimately fished a KBF style event and understand all the rules. So, the captain's meeting may be one that I have to do, and it's probably a little drawn out, especially with the rules and how we're going to measure fish and making sure everybody's actually got a good chance to look at the rule book. But we're considering all avenues there to make it what's best for the anglers.
Right on. So obviously the tournament is on the Delta. Why did we pick the Delta for this one?
Well, I mean, quite frankly, it was the easiest pick on the planet. I could have left it up to Jake, and he would have said the Delta. So, it's no trade secret. Anybody asks me if I've got places to fish where, in period, I could go fish. It's the Delta or Rayburn or Toledo Bend. And since I'm not driving my happy ass to Texas, let's do the math. When I go up there to fish with you guys, I have a great time. It's a great body of water. There's fish everywhere, and we're not talking about little dinks. So you want to hold an event, you want to set the stage for events to come and really put, California trail events on the map. Well, where else do you go outside of Clear Lake? I mean, there's a good argument there. There's a ton of places up there to go, but from a body of water perspective, the Delta just seemed like the initial win, and it's centrally located.
Yep, I agree, but I still had to ask the question.
As Mike just typed in, world-class fishery. Exactly.
Yeah. Bar none. There's it's the most unique fishery in the nation and maybe even the world. Nothing like it. No.
Yeah, absolutely.
So where can one fish? Granted, so we did have the map, but
and that's the deal. James has the map up. I would be kind of doing the Delta an injustice if I just started rattling off all the places you could fish. I think it's more difficult to find places that that you can't fish. I mean, we've opened it up quite a bit. I'd say refer to that map. I think most of the bodies of water are covered. Justin Senior popped in today, made a comment about an area that he thought we'd left off. And James, I asked what it was. James looked at it, was concerned. Hey, did we leave something good off? Outside of, obviously private water, we're not going there. But little zoom in on the map, and it turns out that the area that, Justin Senior is concerned about is actually on there. So, I'd just say, hey, refer to the map. If there's questions on it, there's something that we did forget that, we need to consider. Now's the time to reach out and let James and I know. We're very much open. At the end of the day, this is our event, and we want to make this, what we, the anglers, want it. So, look at Mike's already putting on 2020 KBF Nationals, California Delta. He's not pimping the area at all. Not at all.
Hey, it's not out of the question. I don't think it's out of the question.
And that's the thing too. It's exciting to right now to look. I mean, we've already had the city of Lake Havasu has already jumped in and said, hey, we want an open event next year. So the city's jumped up. They're looking at doing an open for the West Coast next year. I spent some time with Dan at Headwaters today on the phone, and hopefully he's going to jump online here shortly. He's got some kind of news to throw out to everybody that wants to fish as well. So I know we're probably going to try to do 2 events on the Delta next year. One like in May, and probably one at the end of the year in September. I know Mike's brought up some other places to fish. We're gonna open it up. I'd like to see 6 trail events easily next year that we can all hit within reason. Obviously, we got one at Havasu already, so why not fill the other 5 up, and make it where we can compete from angler year point perspective across the nation. So when people look at, hey, well, you've got opens, when they go and look at the 10 and angler of the year points, California is relevant. Now, getting guys there may be an issue, but, as I found out, and as Michael Roy actually can tell you, outside of pulling the Matt Brandon deal and driving, he and Amanda drove all the way over to the national championship. But, there's ways with guys and dealers to fly out and use their boats. And those guys back east have been very helpful. Guys in Texas are that way. So I think we've got pieces in place, and we can get those pieces in place to get anglers there. They may not be in their boat, but, at the end of the day, if you got a paddle and you take your tools of the trade with you, I think, it's very doable.
Just takes a little logistical planning.
Yeah.
What does it say? What's the saying? Fail to plan, plan to fail?
Or, piss poor planning on your part doesn't, we can go on and on and on for a while.
You are a Navy man. I imagine you got quite the...
Yeah, don't get me started. This will go to hell in a handbasket on a high rate of speed. So to just jump back in on the trail. So, right now it's a 30, the idea, we need 30 bodies in there, 30 peeps to pull this thing off and make it a, quote unquote, air quotes here, legal trail event. So right now we're sitting at 11. I know we've got another 9 that are out there that said, hey, yeah, we're going to sign up. It's just a matter of payday. They got it. Awesome. So at this stage of the game, we're closing into the high rate of speed. We just need to get the people in, get them registered. When you register, obviously it's a $50 tournament fee for the KBF members. We've got 42 KBF members in the state. So 6 of these KBF members are actually coming from SoCal that are registered. So we're looking good in that area. There's a $25 administrative surcharge for non-KBF members that want to try to fish. I would say just get your membership in Fishboat Trail events. It pays for itself. And let's see what's next. You've also got an option for a Heroes on the Water Big Bass Brawl. $20 buy-in on that. And it's a 50% payout to the Big Bass. The other 50% goes to Heroes on the Water. That's the way that's been working across the spectrum.
And is that limited to the tournament day? I know like the championship.
Yeah, that's a tournament specific event. They've got other big bass brawls that they're doing. Whether it's the King of the Hill or all the other stuff for Costa, but that one's actually just limited to our event. Okay,
cool. I wanted to make sure. So you got that covered. Remember, if you're on the fence about joining, the $25 that you would pay as a surcharge, that's half of the entry fee. If you decide you want to fish Clear Lake 2, now you would have to pay another $25. So we have 2 events here in California this year. Just pay the $50 and go fish Clear Lake. We also have Idaho has one in I think June or July, and then Arizona has one in September. And then why not just sign up and go participate in those events? Carpool. Let's get it going. Let's get some guys traveling over here across the U.S. or the Western United States, anyways. And that's how we grow it. If you want to fish the national championship next year, you got to participate in these events. Otherwise, you're not going to get to fish it. Like you're not even have a chance. Simple as that.
And there you go.
So, are there like any prizes or anything up for grabs?
Well, we're currently working on some prizes, outside of the cash payout. So right now, when we hit the 30 mark, I'm not going to say if, because I'm just going to say when, because we're going to hit 30. We're going to hold this event and kill it.
We're gonna hit 40, Richard. We're just gonna say, hey, we're gonna hit 40.
Well, here's the thing, Wes. Well, it's a good thing you brought up 40 because Dan's not online, so I'm gonna let this cat out of the bag. We hit 50. We're gonna raffle off a new canoe pursuit at 50. Dan stepped up.
We're hitting 50.
So you hit 50. We get 50 anglers. one of the 50 has a chance of winning a new canoe.
I've learned when you say when you set an expectation, don't expect more than the expectation. So let's just say we're going to hit 50, and then we're going to run with it. We're going to hit 50.
Yeah. So Dan's stepping up. Dan's looking at I talked to Dan today. He's already talking about a live band. So for following the event. So we're working with dealers. I talked to Michael Voy and I chatted this week, looking at some of the smaller dealers to jump on board, and some of the manufacturers jump on board this year. I'm working with Costa. I've already kind of pulled that string to get some stuff done. So we're working on price packages. As soon as those happen, I'll get them out between that, NRS, and a few other things. I'm on conference calls with Chad a couple times a week right now. So we're trying to dial this thing up and spool it up. And at the end of the day, the bigger event we have this year, the bigger the events that we have this year, it just highlights it for next year. And we're already working. That's the thing. We're already working the entire trail scheme for next year with prizes. Manufacturers really stepping on board to do stuff between Orion and Lowrance and a few others. So, Orion stepped up this year. We've got a few things on tap for the NorCal and SoCal Anglers of the Year. So those are stacked up in my garage, and I'll just leave it at that.
Oh, nice. I like.
Yeah.
I like.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just a what a $300 cooler, a badass cooler.
At 50 isn't the good. James just asked a question. At 50 isn't the kayak coming from New Canoe? Well, technically, yes, it is coming from New Canoe. At 50, yeah, James. The specifics on that. It's at 50, the dealer and New Canoe basically go in hand on that deal. At 100, New Canoe jumps in and basically just hands us the boat. At least that's my understanding.
Bear with me. Oh, look at that! See, I hate when stupid thing. What I gotta do? Forgot. I change my settings so that way it doesn't go to like rest mode, so I can keep the comments reading.
Oh, I thought you were about to tell me we're technically not online, and I've been sitting here rattling off shit I did myself, which would have been entertaining.
Yeah, dude, I'm sorry, man. Got you.
Jake just asked a youth division for the trail. My answer to that is no. You're already competing with adults. You'll keep doing it until some other youth join, and then we'll worry about it then. It's a good question. I'm just giving him a hard time, but it's a good question. This is a problem with him not being at home, right there. It's a good question. If we've got kids that want to do it, I'm not opposed to running a side youth tournament. If that's an interest for the parents out there, we can definitely look at that. I've got some guys down here that would jump on and do prize packages for the kids. Obviously, the problem with when you start running into youth, it's about payouts and stuff. But we can do that. I think it's pretty easy for sponsors and whatnot to jump on board, especially with on the youth side of the house. So, yeah, you're starting to read that now, aren't you? He's gave me a walk. Yeah, the WTF. Yeah, granted. Here we go.
Yeah, he's getting to that age.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he is.
All right, so
yeah, I like Abel's comment. Doesn't sound like you need a youth division. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Come on, kid. You're a stick. Don't even lie.
Yeah.
You're gonna give us a run for our money.
So what other? I know you got Greg coming on. I don't want to. I don't want to take any time away from that Nomad individual that's terrorizing the frickin' states. So, are there any other questions out there that we need to hit?
I don't know, guys. Any questions? Jeff Davies, he says, when is Clear Lake?
Clear Lake, that's a damn good deal. It's in August, and I quite frankly have space cadeted the date. I could probably pull it up on something, but Clear Lake's in August.
It's like 6th, 7th, or 8th, or something like that.
Somewhere around there. This is all. In fact, when's the YAB tournament in August at Clear Lake?
It's just, I think are we overlapping them, or are you doing like the KBF's gonna be on the Sunday?
Mike says it's August 12th, so I'm going to go with Mike because he's probably got something that he's read.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's overlapping the YAB tournament, so it's a twofer. Guys who want to go crazy and fish both and just wait, do the fish at the same time.
Yep, I'm down.
It could be a good payout. I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to try to jam up and take Jake up in the summer. Though he doesn't know about this yet. I think we're going to go hang out with
he
Matt
does now.
and Amanda to do some fishing on Clear Lake during the week.
Yeah, he does now. Same, yeah.
I'll have to go with that.
James says same day.
Yeah.
All right. So, with that, anybody got any more questions for Richard?
Yeah, no one has any more questions tonight. Don't hesitate. Hit me up on Facebook. Obviously, the California Kayak Bass Fishing page. Go there. Obviously, I think most people here are already members, so go on, ask away. Once again, it's our event. So, the goal is for this to be everything we want it to be and to set a standard and keep moving forward. Dan's graciously hosting it. We're going to, do some food after the event. Everybody gets back over for the presentation. Dan's doing a live leaderboard during the day, so if people aren't fishing, they want to go over to the shop and hang out and see what's going on. Dan's going to run a live Journey X leaderboard for us. And like I said, food following, and then apparently, Dan can swing it. We're going to have a live band. Who the heck knows? It's a blowout,
He's trying to make it a party.
Hey, it sounds great. We actually joked around about next year, maybe the end of the summer, we'll do a line, wine, and dime kind of thing, and we'll mix Lodi out for everything. We'll have some nice Zens mixed into the deal. So
yeah,
we'll make it all work.
Yeah, maybe we get some. No, I'm not even. I was gonna make a joke, but
it's a 5 fish limit.
That is a good question. I was wondering that myself. So that means I got to get going. Yeah.
I'll tell you, you're going to find out that the 3 fish to 5 fish, it separates the men from the boys at a high rate of speed.
Yep, and I'll admit, I'm kind of a boy in the Delta. The Delta kicks my rear. So,
anyway, hey, man, I'll jump out of here, let you get on with Greg, and appreciate everybody's time, and good luck with the rest of the show tonight.
All right, man. Thank you, Richard. We will talk soon, I imagine. So everybody stick around. We will have Greg here in a second, and we'll go ahead and actually, you know what? I forgot to message Dan for the deal of the week. Maybe I can get him to chime in. I'll send him a text message here about during the interlude. All right, bear with us. We'll be back in a moment.
Less than 1% of fishing is catching. The other 99%, well, that's up to you. To me, it's about the experience, the way you get to your goal. The sunrise lends light to your journey to your first spot. The ability to be on the water itself is a treat. I still get that same feeling, that feeling I got as a kid. It's when you see the water for the first time. That burst of excitement and sense of anticipation still never fails me. You can't really describe it to someone unless they've experienced it themselves. And if you have experienced it, you know it'll be something you'll want to have for a lifetime. The day is a blank canvas, and you know, no matter what happens, something special will be created. The anticipation continues to grow. You're surrounded by nature and things you could stare at all day. Everyone has their methods of getting on the water. Whatever method it may be, I appreciate the process to catching that first fish of the day. From getting into those hard-to-reach places, making that perfect cast with the right bait. To setting the hook and fighting the fish. Doing your best to stay hooked up. And landing the fish. When you finally reach down, grab the fish and raise it up, that's your goal. That's your 1%. The beauty is in the buildup. Less than 1% of fishing is catching. The other 99%,
Well, here we are. We are back. We got Mr. Greg Blanchard, the Kayak Bass Nomad. I don't know if anybody named you that. If I was the guy who named you that, I think I might have been the guy that named you that, but it's very fitting.
I like that.
So welcome to Kayak Bass Live, Mr. Greg. Hopefully we can. Greg, as successful as he is on YouTube, he said sharing this stream was the first time he thinks he's ever shared anything on Facebook. I'm sorry, but I had to throw you on the bus, dude.
That's true. That's true.
He's apparently not much of a social media guy except for YouTube, but it's all good. We still love you. You don't have time. You don't have time for social media, man. You work and you fish. What else is there, right?
There's not much else. Those are the two important things.
Right on. Bo Jones, when the interview started. It's starting now, man. It's right now. You watching? I hope so. Mr. Betavina, he says, "What's up?"
What's going on, Bet?
All right. So, I'm gonna say, you know what? I was giving Greg a hard time, and I forgot to send a message to Dan. Hey, Dan, are you watching? Mr. Dan Arbuckle, if you are watching, man, send me a text message with the deal of the week. I'm gonna send you one just in case, anyways. All right, deal of the week. We are live, by the way. BTW, not BTR. Anyways, so Mr. Greg Blanchard, I'm going to ask you some questions. Granted, most of the guys watching probably already know, but we're going to ask you anyways, just in the snowball's chance in hell somebody doesn't know. So what do you do for a living, Mr. Greg Blanchard?
I am a traveling physical therapist. So basically, I am someone who is a specialist in movement of the body, and I provide rehab for individuals. I typically work in skilled nursing facilities, rehab centers, outpatient clinics, and again, rehab. And it's depending on the setting, it's a wide variety of patients. So anywhere from, working with fall risk patients to patients with low back pain, joint replacements. This kind of depends on the setting.
Right on. So that pretty much answers my second question. What is a physical therapist?
Yeah, and also the other thing, as a contracting therapist or a traveling therapist, I only work at a place for typically 3 months, sometimes shorter, sometimes longer. But that's essentially what allows me to travel, is just those shorter contracts, and then I move on to the next place. And the nice thing about it is I pretty much can pick where I want to go, so long as there's work. So that's afforded me the ability to go to all these amazing fisheries.
There you have it, folks. There's Greg Blanchard. Good night. Have a nice night.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, we all can be jealous. So if you're a young kid and you're going to school or you want to go back to school, do like Greg does. Obviously, it's a lot easier if you're single. Go back to school, go in the medical field and become a traveling specialist of some kind, either a nurse or physical therapist or an occupational therapist. I actually have one of my coworkers. She's going to school. She's got her bachelor's. She's working on her master's, to become an occupational therapist. And yeah, I didn't know it. She said what she's saying. The occupational therapist is kind of like more of the upper body and more of the day-to-day kind of stuff. Yeah, you're saying. I was like, that's really interesting. I didn't know. So, anyways, all right. So with that, what made you decide to be a physical therapist, man? I realize this is a kayak bass thing, but I'm kind of curious. I mean, obviously you had some sort of calling to that.
Right. Basically, I wanted to be a physical therapist since I was a sophomore in high school. I had a pretty serious leg injury during a soccer game, and I had to do a lot of PT. And, as terrible of an experience as it was, the rehab itself, I really, really liked the results, the help I was getting, just the setting. So I kind of explored that a little further. Actually had a few more injuries in high school and had some more PT, but that's what sparked my interest, and that's pretty much when I decided I wanted to be a PT.
Right on. I had to turn my volume up. Looks like you weren't very loud there. So
Yeah.
hopefully you guys can hear a little bit better. I don't think it's great. It's not necessarily Greg's fault. He has his laptop on a pillow.
No, I took the pillow away. You know what? Actually, on my blackpack now.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, blackpack.
Yeah, Greg. I talked with Greg a little bit last night, and he showed me the room he's staying in, and it looks like the room of a single fisherman. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. Yeah.
So just imagine if you were single and you were a fisherman. Hey, look, my sign fell down. Just imagine if you were single and you were a fisherman, what your room would look like. There's Greg Blanchard's room, bar none.
Do it. Well, everything I have fits in my truck too, so that's.
So I mean, I got a lot of questions rolling in here. Because of the way the Facebook Live works, sometimes it will only keep so many of them. So I'm gonna try to go through them as they come in, if I can, as I go. We have back to where that was the last one. So we had Dan Smart says, "What up, Greg?" We have Bam Miller says, "We still love you." Wes is going all fanboy on us, dude. If you don't know who Greg Blanchard is and you're a kayak bass fisherman, I'm sorry, you were behind the eight ball. Greg Blanchard is the epitome of a kayak bass nomad. He travels the country. He's fished from coast to coast, bro. Like, who else has done that? I don't know any other kayak bass fisherman that's fished coast to coast besides this gentleman right here. Yes, I'm a fanboy, and I'm proud of it. All right, so.
YouTube channel name. I like that. Kayak bass fishing nomad. That's nice.
Yeah, you're a kayak bass nomad, dude. Like you've been across the nation. You fish some of the biggest, baddest fisheries that only some of the top echelon of bass fishermen have fished, and I don't know any other kayak bass fishermen that can say that.
Yeah, fortunate, very fortunate opportunities.
So I'm a fanboy, yes, and he puts out badass videos that are awesome to watch and gets me pumped up in the morning. All right, so eat it. All right, so Jeff Davis. Jeff Davis videos are bad. Money sign.
Nice. Yeah, appreciate it.
Money sign. That says a lot, man. Greg is a beast, though. Bam Miller, I don't know what you mean by that. Bo Jones, yeah, I'm watching. Sent in during the commercial. Preston Davis, hey Wes and Greg, what up, Preston? Nobody says hi to me, jerks. Bam Miller, I don't know. I hope this is. I don't know what kind of question this is. I hope it's maybe you'll understand, and I hope it's not offensive in any way. Bam Miller says, you ever drink Bailey's from a shoe?
No, I haven't, but I want to try someday.
What? Okay, can you inform me this? I'm out of the loop or what?
Old Greg, YouTube video. Look it up afterwards. Old Greg. Look.
Yeah.
You'll get it.
Yeah. Oh, Greg, how old are you, Greg?
28.
Damn.
I know I don't look 28.
You were like in eighth grade when I graduated high school, bro.
Yeah.
Okay, Steve Melander. Greg, your videos are top notch. I'm really enjoying them. Keep them coming.
Thanks, Steve. Appreciate it.
Dickie Hoskins. Greg, you the man, bruh. David, my co-host, who's actually probably at work right now, watching on a break or in between patients. He says sup, guys. Abel says sup to David. Preston Davis. Okay, this is a wordy one. I have to hit C more. It's a wordy one. He says, Greg, how did you get your YouTube channel started? That's the first question.
Okay. I mean, I basically just started uploading videos for friends and family to watch. I mean, if you go all the way back into my first videos, they were pretty much nothing spectacular. Some of them were like even 15 seconds long. I think I started uploading fishing videos maybe 3 years ago. But I would say I got more serious into the YouTube channel about a year ago. And when I say serious, I mean, taking actually some time to edit videos and trying to upload on a somewhat regular basis. But, it was kind of just all, I don't want to say it was an accident, but I never, said at some point, I want to have a YouTube fishing channel and, be dedicated to it. It just kind of all came together with, the fishing, the kayak fishing, the traveling, the tournaments. So it's worked out so far.
Yeah. I got your stats here, man. So you have 189 videos that are on YouTube. I don't know if you've deleted any or anything, including that one like Dr. Phil or something, like a talk show. I don't know what that was. Like, whatever.
Yeah.
189.
Upload.
Say what? Say what?
It's a popular upload, actually.
Yeah, it's got like 1,500. It's got like 1,500 views on it or something like that. I didn't know if you're aware of this. Imagine you are. Maybe you aren't. He's got 4,554,220 views. Dude, that's a lot. It's a lot.
It's a couple.
Yeah. Granted, that's probably like the three fanboys that you've got watching watch your videos a million times a piece.
You've got
Suck
like
it, Bam. You've got 10,738 subscribers. Granted, you probably have increased in views as well as subscribers since I did this last night. But anyways, so the rest of Preston's comment, he says, I'm starting a new channel called Laughing Lures soon, featuring great GoPro footage and my own wacky, quick wit and humor with creating my own music too. Would you follow me and give pointers to a new guy on the block?
Absolutely. Shoot me a message. We can talk for sure. I can tell you what I don't think I have it perfected by any means. So let me just start with that. But I can definitely let you know what has worked for me and what hasn't. So yes, shoot me a message and I'll try to help.
Right on. And it goes for the other 27 of you watching. Billy Moody, game-winning goal when you came back from that injury.
Oh, what's up, Billy? I don't even know if he's watching right now.
He is, yeah. Billy Moody says game-winning goal when you came back from that injury. That's what he says.
Yeah, that was okay. So that was back when I was talking about what got me into PT. Like I said, I was a sophomore in high school, and it was actually the first game of the season. 10 minutes in, and I took a really bad hit to the thigh. It ended up being a bad compartment syndrome. And the team made it to the sectional finals, and it was like my second game back, and I got lucky and scored the winning goal in the finals. So it was a good season. It was a bad season, but a good season. So
That's usually the way they go, right?
Yeah.
Bam Miller, as a physical therapist, what's your advice to help alleviate shoulder pain from monster hook sets?
He's up on the hook sets.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't have to crack the whip, man. Sometimes you just got to lean into them.
Yeah.
Bam's asking for a friend, says Abel. I know this guy that catches fish sometimes. LOL. Yeah, Greg's the man. Adam, can you do a phonics of how you say your last name, bro? I'm so sorry, dude. Adam says, living the dream. Dickie Hodgkins, Greg, what's up, brother? Brittany joined in. Hey, what up, Brittany? Noah Stevens, he's living the dream. Mark, does he miss fishing with 2-piece rods?
So yeah, that's I know the answer to that is no. I don't miss it. Believe it or not, 2 years ago when I showed up in Texas for cats, I had 2-piece rods. I'm not even kidding. Yeah, they worked. I won Angler of the Year with them, but one thing that I get a lot is I get asked a lot of specific questions about fishing, which is fine, and I'm more than happy to help. But honestly, I really started getting into bass fishing, doing research and being more technique specific, 3 years ago, 2-3 years ago. So I'm continuing to learn. I am by far from an expert in bass fishing.
You're learning. You took years of learning, and you turned yourself into a badass in 3 years. Dude. Yeah. I don't. You won the ACK Angler of the Year. What, 2 years ago or last year?
2 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah. You started 3 years ago. That was only 2 years ago. So from the time you really got serious about it, the time you won was only a year's time. So either you're just a straight up natural or something,
Well, we can go into that later. There's definitely some things that went my way that season. I'll say that. But to answer Mark's question, no, I don't miss 2-piece rods.
Let's see. Romel, he says. Romel says, let's get some feedback on the Titan already. We'll talk about it a little bit later. I think I've got some of that on here. Titan versus Slayer. Yeah, of course. We will talk about that. Greg, I won my DECA tournament while watching your vid over and over how to fish that lake.
Nice. Awesome, man. Congrats.
Crescencio Silva the fourth. That's what it says. Greg, what's your top 3 lures for bass fishing? Frog.
Yeah, frog. We pad crasher, half ounce, black and yellow, of course. Spread King Rage Menace, black and blue. And the chatterbait, Z-Man custom chatterbait, black and blue with a swim Senko trailer. If you watch my YouTube videos, 99% of the baits I throw are those 3 right there.
I did, based on your video that I just recently watched with the Titan, and you was using the Rage Menace.
Yep.
Dude, that thing has got some action on it.
It does. It looks like nothing, and it's got crazy action. It's it's a slim profile, so you can really get it into some thick stuff. I mean, I love it. It's great bait.
Yeah, it's probably going to come into play on Comanche here.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know.
Color, not telling. Let's see. What's your favorite brand of reel and rod? Well, that's such a loaded question.
Favorite brand? Well, I'd have to say it's my frog set.
Uh-oh.
Fantastic.
Uh-oh.
What's that?
Uh-oh. Your Wi-Fi connection went.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Tell your roommates, stop honking on the Wi-Fi. Get off of Netflix.
Get better?
Yeah, it cleared up a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, Trisha Blanchard says, who's your favorite sister?
Oh, man, I'm going to think about that.
Yeah, she's your only sister, I'm hoping, right?
Yes. Yeah, it'd probably be you, Trisha.
Man, tough choice.
Yeah, it's hard.
Yeah, he's like Spotty the puppy. I don't know your guys' the family dog name is. Just giving her trouble. I'm sorry. Okay, so I'm
back to the Rod question though, right? We get that answered.
Go ahead, go for it, man.
I said my Denali lithium frog rod. I really like Denali rods. I think the next rods I purchase will be Denali rods, just because I've had such I've really enjoyed the frog rod series. The reel, man, that's tough. Probably Shimano Torado reels.
Yeah, solid reels.
Yeah,
solid rods. Not Enigma. They're not Enigma, but that's okay. That's okay. I'll forgive you. So, all right. So we got that one. All right. So, granted, we kind of coming back to my list of questions here. How did you get started fishing? Just fishing, not kayak fishing. Just fishing.
Probably like a lot of you guys, had a family member, grandpa, take me when I was real young, 3-4 years old, I think, at earliest. That's how I started, and that's how I got addicted. That young age, you start to catch your first fish, and it's you're hooked for life.
Yep, absolutely. I remember going with my dad and his buddy Robert when I was a little kid out to Lake Tulloch.
Yeah,
and they would be like, "Hey, what's that over there? Oh, let me see your rod real quick. Oh, here's one. What's that over there? Oh, okay." And then I'm like, "Oh, I got one." It was so
I don't
fun.
know. I think if you start early, you're introduced early. Like when you're really young, there's just, and maybe it's probably not true for all cases, but I feel like a lot of the cases of guys who are truly passionate about the sport, they were introduced young. They started with a family member, and it's just something that's instilled young, and it really gives you that drive and that passion.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, so we know how you started fishing. How did you start kayak fishing?
Kayak fishing. So it was kind of an accident. I didn't rent it, my mom. So my family rented a cottage on Canisius Lake, one of the Finger Lakes in New York. We rented it pretty much every summer throughout my college years. And one summer, we'd always rent this little 25-horse John boat, and I'd fish out of that pretty much all week. It was my one chance to get off the bank. I was a bank fisherman. I didn't have a boat or anyone that had a boat to get off the bank. So that week at Canisius Lake was my 1 week to go explore a lake. So I took that 25-horse John boat out, fished it all week. That particular year, we returned the boat. We still had a couple days at the cottage. There were some kayaks under the cottage. I said, "Hey, why not? Let's take a kayak out and try some fishing around docks." And I tore it up. I caught more fish out of that kayak than I did out of that John boat all week. No joke. It was it was eye opening. So after that, I started looking into kayak fishing. I didn't even know it was a thing. And that Christmas, I got my first kayak, which was a Lifetime Manta kayak, and then I went to the Slayer and now the Titan. So that's how I started kayak fishing.
Yeah, I had a couple guys asking me, how many kayaks do you go through before you got your Slayer? So the answer is one.
Yep.
Just one. Just one. He went a lot like me. Take that back. I started in what I called a banana. I called it a 10-foot banana. And it was by Future Beach. I think you got it at Costco. I bought off some guy Craigslist. So banana, and then I upgraded into a Jackson Coosa HD, and then I went into my Titan, the Hobie Pro Angler. Yeah. Anyways, we're not here to talk about me. We're here to talk about Greg Blanchard. So we got that. Oh, I want to ask you. Do you remember what you were throwing when you were out there on those docks? What were you throwing? Were you skipping docks, tossing a Senko?
Senko all day. At one point, I threw a Senko 99% of the time. Like I said, 3 years ago, I started getting into different techniques, but before that, it was like Senko or Senko.
Yeah. Well, honestly, even then, there's a lot of even professional level guys, quote unquote professional level guys that's pretty much all they fish is the Senko. If you go to California Delta, you could win tournaments year round on a freaking Senko.
And there's nothing wrong with it, but that's just what I was throwing at the time, and it catches fish for sure.
That bait is nuts, man. I think that's that's like the gateway drug for a lot of people who get into bass fishing.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so what clubs and circuits do you or have you fished in your 3 years? Can you name them all? Can you name them all?
I can try. So New York, Western. The first tournament I ever fished was through Western Kayak Bass Fishing Association. They're no longer. They don't exist anymore. It's now the Kayak Anglers of Central New York. They kind of took them over, and they're affiliated with Kayak Bass Series. But that was the first event I fished. It was on Canisius. I fished right after that. I fished the Delaware Paddle Sports Kayak Bass Series. I'm trying to do these in order. Then I fished let me think. Right after that was Cats, actually. Cats was my third series. I moved to Texas after that, and I fished Cats. I also fished CCKF. That was another Austin-based kayak circuit that I fished at the time. Then I came back to New York. I fished the Kayak Anglers of Central New York events. I went to Massachusetts, in the Boston area. I fished the Massachusetts Kayak Bassin Trail. Let's see. Then I went to Southern California. Didn't fish any tournaments there. Then, of course, Yakka Bass. Recently fished East Texas Kayak Fishermen. They just started in East Texas. Fished their first event. Gosh, I think that's it. There's probably more, but that's all I can think of right now.
Okay. Kind of got two questions here. First one is seeing how you're from New York, that area. At what point did you realize, dude, I gotta become a traveling physical therapist and go to Texas? Like, imagine a light bulb clicked somewhere.
Well, I mean, I graduated from PT school about 4 years ago, and I started traveling immediately. After I took my boards, I started traveling that September, and believe it or not, I didn't have any intention for traveling and fishing. I was traveling to travel. Being about 45 minutes, I'd been to places around the country, but I was pretty much confined to that, area for most of my life. So the big push for me to travel was just to see the country, not to fish. I had my kayak with me, and then I'd say after about a year of traveling, that's when it kind of became more about, all right, where am I going to travel to fish instead of where am I going to, So, yeah.
Yeah, good decision.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, I imagine you probably wouldn't be the angler you are now if it wasn't for the fact that you actually decided to travel. I could almost bet you that. Yeah, I mean, you're a badass, dude. I'm sorry. Whatever. If you don't believe me and you disagree, I'm sorry, but I think great. Yeah, fanboy. Whatever. He has a lot to offer and a lot to learn, so pay attention to this man, all right? All right, so obviously, we probably know most of the guys in this question. Oh, my wife is calling me. I'm sorry, babe, but I got to deny the phone call. I'm talking about Greg Blanchard. Come on, guys. What kayak do you fish out of?
What kayak do I fish out of?
Yeah.
The Native Watercraft Titan 13.5 right now.
Right on. And you were fishing out of before?
Slayer 13. Native Watercraft Slayer 13. So.
Right on. Okay. Obviously, we knew that one, but I had it written down, so I got to ask.
Sure.
I got that one too. We got that one already. Okay, let me see. Let me go back through here real quick. More questions. All right, so okay, that's actually a pretty good question. Preston Davis says he's asked if I can ask you, how do you prepare for fishing water that you haven't fished yet?
Okay,
solid question, because you're getting ready to do that tomorrow when you go to Comanche, right?
Yeah, actually, I haven't done what I should have done to research Comanche. But in a typical situation, start online. Internet searches, YouTube. Obviously, YouTube helps a lot. I always look to see what tournament results have been there. If there's been tournaments on there, see what kind of weights they're winning, look at the time of year. Obviously, Google Maps helps a lot. I use Navionics on the computer as well, in combination with Google Maps. I try to learn as much about the lake as I can before I even get there. I will typically, the night before, before I go to the lake, I'll sit down with my Raven Rain Dragonfly and just make some, waypoints on areas that, based on my research, look like they may hold fish. And, I'll obviously, the best thing you can do is put time on the water, but that's the starting point. That's the starting point for going to a lake I've never been to, is putting in some heavy research.
Yep. I mean, what else am I supposed to say? Yup.
Yeah.
Great question. Great answer. All right. I got a question. He had a 2-part question. He said, how heavy do you use your Raymarine? And I guess you kind of answered that. I imagine, because that's kind of like the second question, and it was a 2-part question, but.
Yeah, well, yeah. So, yeah, I mean, like I said, I'll put waypoints on it, and then obviously I'll use it during the time I'm on the water to take a look at what's on the bottom, to, take a look at the kind of grass I'm fishing, make more waypoints, stuff like that. As far as, if you're asking if I use it for deep water fishing, that's one thing and maybe that'll be a question you have for me. Definitely something I need to improve on is fishing deep and using electronics deep. It's just something I'm not comfortable doing. I do it a lot, so that's probably why I'm not comfortable doing it. But fishing deep and using my graph is, I would say, a weakness.
That was kind of a question I was going to ask later, but I'm still going to ask it to you anyways. All right, so based on the fact you've pretty much lived quite a few different places in the nation, where would you consider living permanently based on fishing alone, based on where you've been?
Based on fishing alone?
Yeah.
Okay. Based on fishing alone would probably have to be Central Texas, somewhere around Austin.
That's not what I wanted to hear.
Well, hear me out. Obviously, the fishing is fantastic around that area. You've got many lakes within an hour and a half that are, great bodies of water, and then even more if you go 3-4 hours around that area. The other reason is the kayak tournament scene, the kayak fishing community. It's huge in Austin. I don't know if a lot of guys know how big it is in Austin if they follow the CATS events. The CATS events, the Kayak Angler Tournament Series out of Austin, Texas. They've drawn over 100 anglers for their first 3 tournaments each. I think the first 2 tournaments had over 140. The kayak fishing scene down there is huge. It's growing. It's continuing to grow. So that's the other reason I'd want to be in the Austin area, just for that reason too.
Yep. I told my wife, if we move out of California, which I'm actually pretty willing to do so. She just doesn't want to. So if she decides she wants to move to California, we're moving to Austin. At least the outskirts of Austin. I already told her. There's too much going on there. It's the closest thing to California as far as like the culture and the people. It's probably pretty much like the most liberal city in Texas.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Great location too. Besides fishing, great.
I'm not a liberal, but I'm from California, so liberal's kind of what I'm used to. So I don't know. Anyways, we don't want to talk politics. So moving on. Okay. Where would you like to travel that you haven't been to yet?
A lot of places. Right off the bat, I think speaking the next couple of years. Carolinas, North or South Carolina. They've got a pretty good Carolina Kayak Angler Series there, big tournament trail there, so that'd be cool. Florida, want to go to Florida, fish some Florida waters and Florida bass. Those are the 2 places I really like to go in the next couple of years. I definitely want to make my rounds back through Texas again, probably California as well. But those are the 2 I'd say that are, I guess, nearest to me on my radar of places to go, Carolina and Florida.
Not a bad choice. Not a bad choice. That's where I definitely want to go fish somewhere in Florida. The Carolinas. I mean, I know there's lakes. Well, there's I think there's Lake Wiley over there, and that's another big one over there too that I'm not thinking of right now. But there are a lot of bucket list lakes.
Yeah,
you know?
There's a ton of to fish. I mean, too many to fish, but those are the two places I would like to go in the next couple of years.
Let's see. Dan Smart says, "Are you ready to fish the Delta?"
I am excited to fish the Delta. Unfortunately, tomorrow's fishing won't be on the Delta, but I'm hoping next week I'll at least get one day on the Delta.
Yep. Well, we got the KBF event coming up, as we talked with Greg, 3 weeks away? 2 weeks away? 3 weeks away.
Yeah, that's exciting. That'll be fun.
Right on. Mark Cisneros says, "Ask Greg who he thinks will win AOI for the Cats this year."
Oh, jeez. I'm going to have to go with Ken Davis. I think, it's Ken Davis, right? There's been 3 tournaments, and he has 3 second-place finishes. I mean, yeah, you got to go with that guy.
Yeah, when you finish second in those tournaments.
100-plus anglers each tournament. Yeah, he's having a good year, so I'll go with Ken.
Right on. Casencio says pro angler for life. Yep. Don't be wrong. If I get in a Titan and it blows me away, it's quite possible. It's gonna have to blow me. It's gonna have to blow me away though.
Okay.
It's gonna blow me away. Granted, don't get me wrong. I'm really excited, and I think it looks like a badass rig. I just don't know if it's for me. You know, everybody has their thing. It may not be for me. And if it's not for me, it's not for me. But we shall see. Albert Christian Vasquez. Too bad you left before we got on some river monsters.
Yes, that is too bad because I see posting pictures of 23 and 25-inch fish all day, every day. So, yeah, well, maybe I'll get back down there, though, and you can show me some of your secret honey holes.
Have you caught a shoalie out of curiosity? Have you ever caught a shoalie?
Nope.
That's on your bucket list, too, isn't it? Because it's on mine.
It is.
It is on mine. I want to catch a shoalie. And you know what I mean? I think that as far as from what I've seen, it almost seems like the only way to really catch them is on a kayak anyways because the way the waters are. You can't really access unless you fish them for fly or from the bank. But you don't really see bass boaters catching shoalies. So, I don't know. I want to catch one. Mark Cisneros says, no, stay in California. Obviously, he wants you to stay here because he doesn't want competition.
And Mark, for everyone that's watching, he was the filming guy and the producer of the recent native video. So shout out to Mark. Awesome job. That video was fantastic.
Yes, Brittany, I am wearing a blue collar angler shirt and the fish that you designed or drew. Yes, I am. Yes. BlueCollarAnglers.com and Blue Collar Anglers on Instagram and Facebook as well. Another little plug. All right. Preston, I live just south of Austin in New Braunfels. Did I say that right? I don't know. So, Greg, would you fish with me in Texas sometime? I have a native Propel 10 and a Dragonfly Pro 7 Bro. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up.
Yeah, Preston, if I'm back in the area, for sure. We'll definitely get together and fish sometime. We've got some good gear, too, there, it sounds like.
Yeah. You know, it's not like you're sponsored by Native or anything, right? And you didn't just do one badass video either or Mark did the video, but you were in it. You were the subject of the video. Let's see. Jeff Davies. It's actually a pretty solid question. Do you fish any saltwater tournaments?
I don't. I've only fished salt a couple times, but no, I haven't fished any saltwater tournament. I'm not very diverse with my fishing. I'm pretty much bass only. Occasionally, I'll go out there and try to catch some northern pike up in New York, but I'm strictly bass.
Yep, me too. I want to catch a muskie though. That's kind of on my list. I haven't caught a.
Yeah.
Have you got a muskie?
I've caught a couple muskie. Yep, they've got in New York on Canisius Lake, that lake I was talking about. They've got some good sized muskie. I think they stopped Canisius Lake maybe 15 years ago. So I was there like 5 or 6 years ago, but they're probably getting pretty big now. So yeah, must be fun.
Throwing like those monster wood swim baits and stuff for those big old things, man. Those things get as big as a kayak. They're huge.
Crazy sized baits.
Albert Christian Vasquez, hell yeah. Hey Dan, did Dan see me? Oh, he did. Okay, so because I failed to do it, and Dan has sent me a text message. He said, "Just got this. Sorry, was in a meeting. Sorry, I realize you're watching now, Dan. I missed it too, and I actually sent this to you while we were live." He says, "Double book myself tonight, so more like the wife double me." Yeah, well, it's okay. She still loves you. Hopefully you still love her. 20% off all Boondocks landing gear. Dude, I am all over that. Payday's Friday. Dan, I may be coming out in the shop. Yeah, 20% off of Boondocks landing gear. So if you're wanting some Boondocks landing gear, if you got a big kayak, if you're getting yourself the Titan, hit up Dan down there and get 20% off some landing gear. Take advantage of that. Yeah, because I'm pretty sure he'll do phone orders too. So, all right. So I got another question for you. What is the weirdest thing you've seen fishing across the country? It doesn't necessarily have to be you can do a fishing thing and then just actually traveling, but you can, go ahead.
Wow, I've got some good ones then. Let me say this. Okay, so I don't know how many people know this story, but so last summer when I came to the Delta area, I was living in Pittsburgh. My 4th day living here, I was actually having dinner at an IHOP on a corner of an intersection. This was my 4th day here, and I'm sitting there eating, looking out the window, and a truck or a car comes flying through the intersection. Completely blows the red, crashes right into a light pole, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, it's a terrible accident!" And I look, and there's a guy that gets out. And he's got a shotgun, and then police are, trailing behind him, and he starts shooting. That was my 4th day in California, or in Pittsburgh, the Delta area. Like, I swear to God. Yeah. So that was something. That was an experience. Obviously not fishing related, but.
See, now, if that happened to Texas, that boy would have been shot dead as soon as he got out of that car, because somebody carrying would have took his ass out. But California, stupid politics.
Yeah, so that was probably one of the craziest things, not non-fishing related, I've seen. Fishing related, there's one that's this trumps all others. So this was actually back when I was in college. It was one of my summers off, and I was fishing. I wasn't fishing from a kayak. I was fishing from the bank still. And this was back in New York, and it was at a place called Mays Point, and it's next to the Erie Canal, part of the Erie Canal, and just a little north of Cuba Lake. Some of the local guys will know what I'm talking about. But a very popular bank fishing spot because there's this discharge with some current and just attracts a lot of fish. Well, I was fishing there during a weekday because I like going during the week. It wasn't as crowded. And I was the only one there that particular day, and I was fishing the bank, and the other side of the bank is maybe, I don't know, like 30, 35 yards away. And I noticed a car pull up, and a couple get out, and there's some trees on the other side, and this couple walks down the bank on these rocks and gets under the trees, and you already know what's coming. And I'm just thinking, okay, it's, they're just enjoying a lunch break. And, they, like I said, 30, 35 yards away. I could say hi to them if I wanted to, and they just start, reproducing, if you know what I mean. And I'm fishing, and that's happening. I have no idea what that was all about, but that is the weirdest, craziest thing that's ever happened to me during fishing. I don't hope it happens again. That's So, that's going to be hard to beat, that one.
You ever seen that YouTube? It was a YouTube video. It was a video, and this old guy, he's fishing down the bank, and then he's just kind of trolling. And then as he goes by, there's like 2 people going to town, like in between like some toolies or something, like, and this keeps on going, and they just keep going anyways.
I'll have to look it up.
No, you don't look it up. But it's pretty damn similar.
Thank you.
But it almost looked like the old guy was oblivious to it. Like he just kind of kept going as he's going, and they're just going to town as he drives by. But anyway, so let's see. Daniel, you are not too late, but we forgive you. Dan says he got the Titan today. Hey, Dan, I'm coming down to the shop tomorrow after work, man. I'm gonna come check that bad boy out. I'm pretty damn serious. As long as the wife doesn't have to come home, I'm coming down and check it out. Sean McDowell says your secret lure is a MEPS inline spinner.
What's up, Sean? Sean is a fellow kayak angler in Delaware. He was actually one of the first guys that I fished with out of a kayak. I met him in Delaware. We talked through a forum, and I was looking for some advice and some places to fish. And Sean messaged me, and we got together and fished in some of the Delaware ponds and fished that Delaware Paddle Sports Kayak Bass Series. And yeah, the MEPS inline spinner just gave away my secret, but yeah, it's true.
The bigger one with the bigger blade, or one of the small, little tiny ones.
It's about, I think it's a size 4 one, and I like the one with like the yellow and red beads on it with the white feather tail.
It's like something we throw for salmon out here.
Yeah, but that's just with my.
I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you, you need to stick with it out here, and then get to fish for the salmon. You get to fish for the sturgeon. Rockfish just went. The rock cod, lingcod. The season just opened this weekend. Telling you, man. You. The only thing we don't have going for us is our kayak community isn't as big as Texas is yet, but our fishing, I would say, is just as good, if not better. Granted, we don't have redfish, which is something I still want to fish for, but
yeah, no, I agree. It's and it's growing here too, for sure. I mean, that one tournament up in 50 spots filled up in a week, something like that.
Yep. Yep. In our Shasta Bass Kayak Classic, we had 72 anglers, and they only had 3 months of advertising and promoting of that event.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, it's growing. Next year, we're hoping we're going to bust 100 at the Shasta Bass Kayak Classic, and then I think we can get 8. I think we can consistently get 70 to 80 next year for Yakka Bass. It's my fingers crossed. Let's see.
Yeah.
All right, so. Brittany says Abel needs one too, so she must be referring to either the Titan or the landing gear. Preston Davis, not pro staff for Native yet. Daniel says won't sell Titan without him, referring to the landing gear. Do you have Boondocks landing gear on yours?
I do. So they sent me one of their. I was lucky enough; they sent me one of their prototype landing gears. So you're gonna need it for sure. Prototype being made specifically for the Titan or for the extra load or something? For the Titan, yeah. The bar that goes across the boat is a lot thicker. So I will say this. If you are going to get a Titan, you're going to need the landing gear too. Unless you're trailering. I'm using the bed of my trucks. But just to get it, short distances and just unloading it, it's going to be a must.
Right on. Adam says Wild Wild West. Oh, because you're. Wow. Noah Stevens says that's just a typical night, typical Wednesday night at Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I kind of figured after that, actually.
Dude, it could have been worse. It could have been like Oakland and like the total hood, But
yeah. I mean, it was kind of a random thing too. I mean, it was a chase. It was a chase.
Adam says he saw a naked chick poop in a lake before. Nice. Brown trout.
That might be worse than mine. All right, that might be worse.
At least the one you saw makes you giggle. The one he saw kind of grosses you out. My buddy Cody says I was the naked chick. Rusty Wright, how long at Cali? He's asking how long you're being here. As of now, like 3 months is the plan?
Yeah, as of right now, I think I'm going till mid-July.
So we're gonna press you, man. We're gonna try to get you to stay through the summer so you can get to fish that frog. Keep on going.
I'd be okay with that. No problem with that.
If I have to make all my kids sleep in one room, all 4 kids. You don't want to live with me, believe me. I promise. It's loud in here. Greg, other than the size and cost, what's the difference between the Titan and the Slayer? I really want native, but 3K is a lot, man.
I mean, it's kind of related to the size. Stability. The one thing right off the bat, and I don't know how important radius. So that's something that's, I think a lot of people will see right off the bat, is the turning radius on the Titan is insane. If you've seen some of the videos they put out on the Titan, I mean, that thing turns on a dime. And it's kind of the way they shape the hull. They put the rudder a little bit closer to the center, and they also allowed you to move the rudder handle freely. So there's not like stops anymore. You can move that thing pretty much 180 degrees. So the turning radius is crazy, and it's something that I didn't think would be a big deal to me. But after being in the Titan and having such a sharp turning radius and not having to use my paddle all the time, it's something I don't want to not have. Again, the size, I mean, the stability is something that I really wanted in my next kayak. About a year ago, I flipped in Southern California. I mean, it was my own fault. I was fishing in like 40 plus mile an hour winds and going, with or parallel to the waves. So I flipped, and I was like, wow, I don't want that to happen again. And obviously part of that is being smarter and looking at the forecast and not putting yourself in that situation. But the Slayer is only 33 inches wide, I think, something like that. And I wanted something bigger, wider, so that I wouldn't feel like I would flip, and something that I could walk around in, something that I could turn in, take steps in instead of just rotating all the time. And, I'm sure you guys know this kind of cast where you pass your spot and then you try to go backwards. Well, now you can just, stand up and walk, face the other way. So, stability, the ability to walk around in it, extra storage. It was definitely, the right upgrade for what I wanted in my next kayak.
Right on. We had a conversation. You said you actually plan on picking up a Slayer because it does have its time and place as well, correct?
Yeah, so I think, I did want to keep my Slayer 13. I can't travel with two kayaks. I don't have the means to do it. But the Titan is a tournament boat. It's a big water tournament boat. If you fish a lot of tournaments, if you're serious about your kayak fishing, if you take a lot of gear with you, if you're a bigger guy, the Titan is a great choice. It's not a kayak that you're gonna, you're not gonna get out of work. You're not gonna throw it in the bed of your truck, get to the pond or the lake, and throw it in there, fish for a couple hours, throw it back in. It's just not made for those quick trips. So I was actually thinking about maybe down the road picking up their new Slayer 12 LT. It's a really light kayak. It's a different material they've made the kayak out of. I think it's only like 65 pounds. You can pick it up with one hand. That's maybe down the road.
Right on. Okay. Let's, that's obviously a question. Your favorite way to fish is frog fishing, I believe, correct?
Frog fishing is my...
Right on. Okay. So, we'll skip that one. We'll just move on from there. Okay, so I'm going to ask you this question. What would you consider to be your strength as a kayak bass fisherman?
Strength. Okay. I think my strength and what has allowed me to do well in some tournaments is just being efficient and fishing hard. I don't think I'm tremendously good at any one specific technique. And there's definitely techniques I'm not good at and I avoid altogether. But I think one thing I do in tournaments is I fish hard and I fish efficiently. I like to be organized. I like to have the stuff I know I need or I might need ready. No messing around with tackle. I don't like to waste time. During a tournament, especially when, you don't have a full day, I'll eat lunch while I'm going to my next spot. I'll make as many casts as I can. I'll fish up until the very last minute. Believe it or not, actually kind of going back to the Cats series, 2 years ago when I won Angler of the Year. There was 3 tournaments that year where I caught a key fish in the last 30 minutes. And I think a lot of guys, and this is kind of just a general comment, I think a lot of guys in the last hour, maybe even hour and a half, 2 hours of a tournament, kind of get that fatigue. They are kind of set with what they have. They're happy with their limit, or maybe they're not happy, and they kind of just fish a little bit slower. They don't go all out like they did in the morning. And one thing I definitely did that year at Cats is I just fished hard all the way up until the end. And those 3 fish at those 3 different tournaments, if I missed just one of them or didn't catch one of them, I wouldn't have won Angler of the Year that year. So I think that's probably my strength is I try to be efficient, and I just fish hard the entire time during a tournament.
I like that. That's actually a fairly good point, because even myself, I find myself getting that fatigue, there towards the end, especially if you're not doing well, and then you just start playing your mental games, and you just kind of start to crash, and it's like, and then you get that one, that when you get that one bite, and all of a sudden now you're like back in the game. I get that too sometimes too, but anyways, that's a nice observation of yourself. Okay, so if that's your strength, what would you say is your, in case you didn't mention a technique or anything, but what would you say is your, in case of emergency, let's break this glass and we're gonna throw this bait right now because this is the one that's gonna catch me fish in case of emergency.
Rage Menace, half-ounce tungsten weight, Rage Menace pegged. I'll even use like 20-pound fluorocarbon for that setup. I just have a lot of confidence in it, mainly because I know if I put it in front of a fish, even if it's not hungry, it'll react and eat it, and I can fish it fast and cover a lot of water. So,
yeah, are you cast like a long cast kind of retrieve? Or are you thinking like a pitching it kind of thing?
Pitching it, yep, short cast. I guess it kind of depends, but typically it'll be short cast around cover, where I know there should be fish, and if they're just not biting that day, I can usually force feed them to that Rage Menace.
Right on. It's probably not even your case of emergency necessarily break the glass. You're probably throwing it anyways because you have confidence in it.
Yeah, that's it.
All right. So we did kind of touch on it a little bit. What would you say is your fishing weakness?
Yeah, fishing weakness definitely is fishing deep. When I say deep, I mean more than 10 foot, and fishing slow.
Dude, you're in for a world of hurt at Comanche, bro.
Yeah, that's right. That's why I need to do some research. I'm just not comfortable doing it. I always try to, maybe this is a bad thing, I always try to go to a lake and fish my strengths. I try to fish ways that I know I can catch them, with baits I know I can catch them with. So and I know it has hurt me before. It hurt me at Coletto actually last week. But it's something that I definitely need to practice more of and get more comfortable with. Because it's definitely a technique that you need to use at times, and I just am not that good at it.
All right. Well, that's pretty much my last question I have on here. Granted, I have people asking about the Titan. Is that something you're willing to do a review on it, or are you still not comfortable enough in it to give it like a full on kind of a review, or you just kind of maybe a passive review?
Yeah, I can answer some general questions. I'll definitely have the YouTube video coming out soon, covering the review and how I set mine up. But yeah, I can take questions.
All right. Let's see. I had. See if we can find one. If you're still watching, it looks like our people are starting to hit the hay tonight already, and our numbers are starting to dwindle. But it doesn't mean we can't still have a show because there's still the replay. People will come on and watch it after the fact. Let's see if I can find one. I know there's someone here. I think you already kind of touched on it, man. Like the few were pretty much like the Titan versus the Slayer kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Preston's still here. Well, thank you for sticking around, Preston. If you guys have any more questions, come on, let's ask them. If not, let's go. We're gonna wrap things up and let Greg get on his way. And I'm gonna go to bed. I got to catch up on sleep from the Easter weekend. And last night I stayed up too late getting prepped for this. But anybody else? 5, 4, 3, 2. One? No? All right.
Yeah, questions on my end. What color Rage by Donnie Breedlove?
Yeah, okay.
Black and blue. Black and blue. Always. Well, not always. The water's clear, clearer, and maybe like 4 foot or more visibility. I'll go to green pumpkin or blue craw, but typically black and blue.
Yep. You'll be throwing your other colors. The water's 10, like you got 10 foot of visibility.
Oh wow. Okay.
10 foot or more. 10 foot or more.
Ever fished in Mexico? No, I haven't. I've heard they're pretty darn good. El Salto, even Falcon Lake in Mexico, part of it.
Yeah, yeah. I want to go down there. They have some really cool deals if you team up with a couple guys, to stay at the lodge and some pretty cool. Mark, that's actually a good question. Mark says hat or sunscreen.
Oh well, Mark knows that I'm not a hat guy. I don't know why. I'm just not a hat guy. So sunscreen, and if I really need to cover up, I've got some buffs.
You maybe just haven't found the right hat.
Maybe I'll take that Enigma. No, I can't take your hat.
Yeah, you can take my Enigma hat. I like my Enigma hat. Oh, who else? What other hat do I got? Trucker hats, man. The breathe, that makes a big difference. Do you have a really warm head? Is that kind of maybe what it is? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean I don't know. I just never done the hat thing. I don't know why.
My grandfather used to give me hell as a kid because I would always wear a hat everywhere, even as a kid. And like my grandfather's was in the Air Force and he's very he take your cover off when you walk into a building. Like we went to a restaurant one time and I had my hat on still, and dude, he lit me up. We were staying with him for 1 weekend, and he lit me up. And we went to a family get together, and I had my hat on still, and I'm just like, dude, I'm an adult now. You can't tell me to take my hat off. Like I wear my hat. I wear a hat everywhere, except for work. I comb my hair. I do my hair, but if I'm not at work, I usually wear a hat. Or this is some, But anyway, so. Wes, please tell Greg, thank you for Native Titan video and for his channel and his passion for kayak fishing.
Happy to do it. It's fun.
Donnie, I can answer that question for you. Donnie, he has not fished Clear Lake, but we're going to coordinate something. I think we'll try to get up there. And then, between him, Matthew Brannon, there's a bunch of us that want to go up here to Clear Lake ASAP. Probably especially right after our Delta event in May. Like, I think we'll try to get a good crew to go up there.
Love to go up there for sure.
Yep, ASAP. After seriously, right after the Delta event, I think we're gonna have to go like 2-3 weeks after that, after everybody gets paid and recoups the expenses, unless somebody, the guy who wins, wants to pay for everybody. All right. Well, with that, Noah says he's in Clear Lake. Right on, Noah. Let's bring it. So what we're going to do, if you still have questions, keep going. What I'm going to do is I'm going to play the video for, hold on. There we go. Dan sent me another text message a few minutes later after me reading the Boondocks. He says 10% off of Native this week and next week, and that includes the Titan.
Nice.
That's your sales tax, guys. If you want a Titan, get in on it. Hit up Dan. It's like 10% off. That's like your sales tax. At least your sales tax, and maybe even a good, especially with a Titan. That's damn near your Boondocks landing gear.
Yeah.
Damn near, anyways. So with that, get down to 20% off Boondocks landing gear and 10% off of all Native. Hell yes. Yeah. Get on it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna play the video. Normally David would bring it and we share his screen, but he's not on here. And every time I try to get on an internet browser while running on this machine, it decides it wants to try to lock up or slow down, and I'm just not going to risk it. So what I did is I created a video of a little spinning wheel, and I'll play it on here. And let's see, will it play? All right, cool. I'm gonna go. Here's a spinning wheel. Can we get it real close? Come on, play. There it goes. Can you hear it? Probably can't hear it. Who's the winner? Who's the winner? Mary Harris Horn. I believe that's what it says. Mary Harris Horn. Congratulations. You are the winner from last week's video. Send me a message on Facebook or Kayak Bass Live, a message on Facebook, and I'll get your information over to Trapper Tackle, and they will send you a care package of hooks. Right on. And again, those who share it this week, if you're still watching, share it this week, and we'll do the drawing again for who shared it this week on the next episode. So, share. All right. Any other questions? Do we have anything? Best kayak fishing YouTube channel, hands down. Yeah. He's got first. He's got first, and then we might give Chad Hoover a little bit of love, and then after Chad Hoover, we're gonna say it's Kayak Bass Live. All right. We're number 3. We're 3rd. Probably not, but I'm still gonna plug us anyways. Yeah. So we do remember we archive all of the shows on YouTube, so you can go back and watch this one later. Months later, you can also go back and watch the one we had with Kurt Smits, when we had Nick the Informative Fisherman. Who else did we had on? We had Robert Field on about a month and a half ago. With that, anything you want to say, Greg? You want to say to the viewers where can they follow Mr. Greg Blanchard besides Facebook, which you don't use?
Yeah, pretty much YouTube and Instagram. Gosh, I don't even know about YouTube. It's just one of those. Greg Blanchard, if you type it in YouTube, you can follow me there. But, I'm sure a lot of you guys are following me now that are watching. But, I really appreciate all you guys who follow me. Send me messages, say hi at tournaments or wherever. It means a lot. I'm lucky to be doing what I'm doing right now. It's a good deal, and I'm going to keep going with it. So thank you, guys.
Right on. Yeah, Greg's a super easy guy, and we're glad he came on. Yeah, easy going guy. Super easy to hold of, and always willing to help and answer questions, because I've asked him questions and sent him stuff, and he's replied. Granted, I send him a lot of stuff when he's at work, but he ends up getting back, within the next day. But I appreciate you, Greg. Just want to let you know. And now go ahead and stick around, and we'll go ahead and chat a little bit after we sign off here. Again, everybody, thank you for watching. Remember to share the stream and tell your buddies about Kayak Bass Live. And with that, love, peace, and chicken grease.